let's get back to our roots. I've started saying now, getting back to our roots. Our roots means so we cannot eat off of the land, live off of the land. Herbs, they work. Yeah, diet, the strict diet works. And Takua told me this. He said, Repule, you know what? Half of our problems in this world, no matter what it is, it's us. And more than half of the things that we consume are very toxic to us as humans. You into our bodies. So how you will have a chance to live longer. And I tell people, younger people around me, I was like, I wish I had met this guy in my 20s. I would live to, I don't know, I would live to 200 years, man.
Welcome to the Growth Well podcast, where we tap into a well of knowledge, innovation, and leadership to fuel Africa's growth. Here, we explore thought-provoking insights and expert knowledge that empower individuals and businesses to thrive across the continent. Whether it's personal development or professional advancement, our conversations inspire action and impact. This is Growth Well, where ideas flow and growth begins. Let's dive in.
This is still Growth Well, and we're still in the episode Yahare Dr. David Takua, the herbalist, the man who's making headways in Botswana in the health with regard to his supplements that are helping thousands and thousands of people in Botswana. So we have a gentleman here who has been using the products, and we wanted not just to talk, but also have someone who's experienced firsthand the impact of these herbal products, the Takua natural herb products. So welcome, Mothusi Pule.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, good to see you. Yes. My man, fellow engineer.
You put too much pressure on me. You just did, but I'm okay. Yeah, I'll be fine. Yeah.
I think just before you start, and like I told the listeners, the idea is really to we've talked a lot about the products. You have been one of those people that have immersed yourself in them. Specific ones. You'll talk about the specific ones that you've done. But before maybe you just just introduce yourself. Just briefly, so that here's the man who's a farmer and he's actually using these products and he can speak good English and still use Herbal.
Those for some reason those don't go together.
Yeah, exactly.
Good English and then use yeah. Correct. I
That's correct.
But God, I believe in God so much that He created us to live off of the land that He put us on. Mm-hmm. There's no better way than being a farmer. Yeah, we're supposed to be sustainable off of the earth, off of these fields. Yeah. Hey, so herbs. Oh my God. I mean, this is some. Sometimes I just run out of words to say because I was diagnosed with hypertension back in 2023. 2023.
Okay.
Yeah. So hypertension. There's a reason why you fall into that stage. Quite advanced actually. They got stages and blah. My readings were reading up to 181 over 120 something.
120 something.
Yes, ridiculous. I'll show you. You'll take pictures. I'll show you.
That's very high.
I've got all my records with me because and I talk about it openly, and because there's nothing that will encourage others other than somebody who can share and personalize it. So some people accuse me of revealing too much about myself. No. We are all God's creatures. At the end of the day. So how much I reveal, I know what not to reveal. So don't take me
worry.
Don't worry there.
Anything else that you reveal will be very will be like no, please don't go there.
And I got people who check me, because I can keep going.
I know.
Yeah. Mothusi Pule, some passionately refer to me as special ed, and I like to call myself that as well. Yeah, Mothusi, help, special ed. I don't know what ed means. Ed is short for Edwin, but I asked my parents what that meant. They never could explain to me, except that Edwin was one of my dad's friends, and way back when I was born in Lobats in 1970. I am turning 55 years old in 3 months' time.
Oh, nice.
So I feel good. People tell me I am lying every time I talk about my age. But yeah, this is me. Born on the 23rd of June, 1917, Lobatse. My parents used to work there.
Okay.
Anyway, I'm fellow engineer.
Okay.
I am an engineer in earth-moving vehicles, heavy plant. And I remember we met in the mines.
We met
and
in the
I was
mines
working
in
for
Orapa.
and Orapa,
Yeah.
Young engineer. You referred me to a young engineer back then, But anyway, so fast forward, I am a farmer. I was brought up in the farm that I now live off. And herbs. Then I got introduced to Dr. Takua by a very close friend of mine, fiancé, I must add. But she introduced me to Takua, and we hit it off on the first date that I went to go see him.
Okay.
I'm very talkative.
You're consulting. You're the first.
I was consulting.
With him.
I was consulting. I paid the $200, and I actually took my mother with me.
Okay.
My mother is 81 years old.
Okay.
She's turning 82 next month. And I took my mother there to him, and we both consulted at the same time. Yeah. So he asked me, said, Mr. Pule, because he could tell that I'm somebody who can talk. And then he asked me.
That's why I have to be careful here as well.
Yeah. You got to tone me down. Okay?
I know.
I must admit that.
Yes.
And that's fine.
Yeah.
Cut me off if you want to. Then it's okay. So I got introduced to him, and we hit it off. He asked me, he says, what do you want here? I said, I am hypertensive. And he's like, oh, okay, I've got a herb for that. And I was like, cool. What is it? How does it work? So he explained it to me. Very patient guy, I must say, And he will explain these things. Of course, I call him, passionately refer to him as Mutitedi Moholo, the master mixer or titrator in chemist. He's a chemist.
Titration. He's a chemist.
He's a chemist, so he titrates a lot. And that's what I use. Now, Kastswana, like you said, Stswana, ke khona go se bua le sona thata le gone, yes. And so he asked me what I wanted, what my objective was in life. And I told him I want to outlive my father, my late father. May his soul continue resting in peace. He died at the age of 82 in 2019.
Okay.
And
I'm so sorry about that.
It's okay. I talk about it, and I still miss him. It's been 6 years now, but it's okay. Every time I'm challenged at the farm, I think about him because he taught me a few things at the farm.
So the legacy is there.
Oh, absolutely. Yes. So I said I want to outlive my dad by at least 8 years. I know what killed my dad, and then so I don't want that to kill me. My dad died of a heart attack.
Okay.
Okay. So he had no history of heart attack before then. But so I'm like, okay. So and then I get a little scared when I was diagnosed with with high blood pressure.
It's very related to cardiac arrest.
Absolutely, yeah. I said, I got to look after myself, man. So I went to Takua, and he prescribed me etali. Etali herb.
Yeah. He mentioned the etali.
Etali herb did wonders for me. I don't want to talk down on modern medicine because I was diagnosed by a physician.
You had to go into medication.
Yes. I was diagnosed by a physician, Actually, the guy who diagnosed me is Dr. Iteng. I can say that freely. And he's a doctor in Lobats. He was a doctor in Mulapabojang, which were around my farming area.
Okay.
So I use that health facility quite a bit, Mulapabojang Clinic.
Okay.
So Dr. Iteng was there. And then so we get to discussing how I'm going to manage this. He said, Repuli, you got to exercise. I see you're a guy who looks fit. You don't look your age at all, and so you can beat this. He told me. I said, yeah, I know I can. And then Takua. So he said, Takua. Now going back to Takua, he says, if you want to outlive your dad by 8 years, 90 years. So you want to live to 90. I said, I that's what I want to give myself a shot at. The rest, God. It just depends on what He has for me. Yeah. So he says, cut all whites from your diet.
That's Takua.
Yeah, that's Takua. Cut all whites from your diet. And say, what do you mean?
Excellent.
He says, no white rice, no white anything in your diet.
Sugar, rice.
Sugar.
Yeah.
I'm like, but I like...
Stampa,
Hey, what's stampa boying? Sugar, salt,
sugars,
cut all that. He's not a dietitian, but he said that to me. I've never consulted with a dietitian, but I listened to him because anything that has to do with my health, right? So I'll adhere.
Yeah.
So I took this thing, you know. I'm a sportsman. I'm an avid sportsman as it is, and so I said, okay, what can I do? Walks, hikes. So I joined the hiking club.
Okay.
You know, so I hike a lot. I walk. I run. I document all of these through some.
I've seen them. I've seen them. I've seen you running and publishing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because you know, I think I was born for a purpose. I really think so. And you know, some other later
we'll
times,
talk about that part.
We'll talk about that part. Yes. Yeah. And so also my aspirations, hela mo botshelong gore
but in the meantime, you got to look after your health.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you won't get there.
Otherwise, I won't get there.
Yeah. So this is
Thank you.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I will never get there. And so I tell my kids, I'm like, you know, I come first because if I'm not healthy enough, I will never be there for you. So let me come first and look after myself. Then I will know how to look after you. You know? And I tell everybody that around me, you know, my loved ones and family and relatives. So yeah, that's...
So he gave you the herb. So from the products, was it the only herb, the only one that you got was the one that attends to blood pressure, which is the etali herb? Yes. And how did the journey go with that etali? How do you take it, and how has it impacted over the many years? Because you've got good news to share now in terms of what happened to you with blood pressure.
Yep, experience, right? Experience is the best teacher, and there's no best testimony than somebody who has actually walked the walk and can talk the talk, you know. And I just happen to be that right now. Italy, I started taking it. You take 50 milliliters a day on an empty stomach.
Daily dose.
It's a daily dose in the morning on an empty stomach.
Yeah, is it a powder? Is it a?
It's a liquid.
It's a liquid. Okay.
But those ones are, you know, I'm sorry to say this. I'm not talking down on anybody.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry to say that they were not adequately researched.
Yeah.
And,
this is. He's a chemist. So
he's a chemist, so he made sure that you know, it's proper.
Yeah.
It's properly dosaged too. You know, so that we're taking the right
toxicities and things like that.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yep. You know. So 50 milliliters a day on an empty stomach. He also introduced me to another herb called bodav.
Yeah, bodav.
Bodav herb. I call it makonatsotle. Because even if you're not sick of anything, bodav...
Is that the one that he talks about, the antioxidants part of it? The one that's even good for cancer, people living with cancer. I think that's the one.
Yeah, you know, I don't want to talk something that I don't have experience with, but all I know is how he explained bodav to me.
Okay.
You know, it takes care of a whole lot of infections
in your body.
Yeah, in your body, it maintains your body. And then donkey milk. Dr. Takua.
Okay.
So donkey milk, you know, and donkey milk is known to be, you know, quite good for a lot of things, even for small babies. By the way, yeah,
no, he mentioned
it's second to breast milk.
Sure.
I'm
say
told.
they are very close.
Yes, yeah.
So but going back to the hypertension one, what happened in the months and the years? How did your blood pressure get better as a result? Just
I was diagnosed, and then my blood pressure readings were there, about 181 over about 120, blah blah blah. It was really ridiculous. So I started taking it, and I noticed 3 months later it started taking a corner. But then, you know, some people say, yeah, but you are on, or can I, you know, there's skeptics out there, obviously, and say, no, but you are on the other big pharma, I call it big pharma medication. I says, yes, I was. And then I asked my physician, you know, my regular doctor, and then he said, you know, my profession, I can't take you off of this, even though you believe that it's etali there that's doing this for you. But Pule just keep on with this. I listen to doctors, because they know better than I do. I never went to medical school, and so I trust them. And so I'm still even now on HCT, 25 milligrams of HCT, and ACT, nifedipine, and then atorvastatin. Those are the high blood pressure medications,
that you
from
take
Big
on daily
Pharma,
basis.
Yeah, on daily basis, But I honestly, what I think works for me, and I think the etali herb did it for me. I honestly think so. But I can't.
You can't prove scientifically.
No, I can't.
But basically, with its use, but you've seen your blood pressure.
Oh, I've seen
come down. Yeah.
Because there were times that unknown to my my physician, that I will just take myself off for a week, 2 weeks at a go, and nothing changed as far as the readings, And I'm very religious. And the doctor said I'm doing it too much. I get myself checked 3 times a week. I've got an app that checks that on my phone, but I never use it. It's just halila. But the reason I go to the health post or health facility is so that I can interact with people, and just say how my journey. Sure. And I talk about the journey so much. Yeah. So after 3 months, it started going down. And then my doctor gave me a target. He said, your target at your age is 130/80. Yeah, anything under 180, 130/80, you are doing well.
Good.
That's millimeters of mercury.
No, I got you.
Yeah. And so it's been like that for the past 7 months. Yep.
You've tamed it.
I've tamed it. I'm doing well. I'm doing great. Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah.
Well
Thank
done,
you
buddy.
very much.
Well done. But it's not just the medication. I mean, the running, the eating. I've seen you even publishing your food.
Yes. Absolutely.
So talk about how holistically it's important to, in terms of,
Yeah, and that's very important. It's not just one thing. And, it's a combination of things. And I keep telling people, just find what works for you, what you're comfortable with, and just what makes you happy. Me, my running, my exercise, it's a lifestyle now. I'll keep doing it until these legs won't take me anymore. And maybe what I'm doing with it, but maybe they will take me as far as they can go.
Extra mile.
Yes, and that's it. The exercise. I mean, you get used to it. It's difficult. The diet as well. After he told me to cut all whites, I went to a Choppies, a local Choppies store, and I found I bought a lot of brown things, brown macaroni, brown rice.
Yeah, brown rice.
Blah blah blah.
Always brown bread. Yeah.
Everything brown, all brains even for a cereal. And that's what I do. And,
so you don't eat whites anymore?
Oh no, not at all. I haven't been eating whites for the past 14 months.
Wow. That's powerful.
Yeah.
That's powerful. Now, it's not just that, Dr. Takua. There's a general global thing about the impacts of these high sugar, which are your starches.
Your starches,
and the sugar itself. The white bread, they call it glycemic value. It's very high. And these are things that are resulting in people being, overweight, exacerbating, things like getting sugar diabetes,
Absolutely.
type 2, and the rest of other health problems. So for you to make a stand, I mean, it makes me sad when I'm with Mothusi, when I go into these local supermarkets, Choppies, and you see people loading up white bread, loading up. I mean, we still
sugar,
take a lot of sugar, and the challenge is there's no movement that tries to manage the retailers to cut on the sugar. I mean, go UK, they went to the extent of banning certain drinks with high sugars, these high energy, because kids were drinking them, and obesity in kids in the Western world, it's crazy.
Yeah.
So for you to take a stance and say, guys, and this is really the purpose of this podcast, is to introduce these things that can make a difference to individual lives, to communities, to families, where you decide, we're going to do away with sugar in this house. But there are benefits to it in terms of health benefits.
Yeah.
And also not just obviously there's a diet issue, like you said, also the exercising part, which is extremely crucial. So what you've done is, and I'm sure you're influencing your kids and your cousins and your what, and in terms of even the dishes that you publicize, in terms of how dark they say you should eat anything that's funny colors. That's good for you in terms of
Yeah. So talking. When when Takua put me in a few of his groups, and he allowed me to be myself. Yeah. And talk freely. Nothing controversial. Just to do with good health, a healthier, I call it a healthier lifestyle. Yeah. Of adhering to the herbs. The herbs are natural things. They are from the earth, directly from the earth. Not done funny things there with what Big Farm does to them. Yeah. They all, they were all emanate from the earth.
Yeah,
they all come from that in the end, So, and my favorite foods right now, which has never been the case before, le belebele, le tlhodi, korong. Korong is my favorite.
Yes.
And
high fiber.
Yeah, I mix korong, le tlhodi, le dinawa in the same thingy. I even know how to prepare them. Even I never knew how to.
And beans are so easy to prepare.
Yes, beans are easy.
Yeah, the following day. And here even Malabing, we make sure like at least twice a week we do beans. Beans are very, very powerful.
Absolutely,
peanuts, very important.
Yeah.
Like we said, bole tlhodi. My home is my wife is Kalanga, so nalebo zengwe. Bodelele. Excellent. Yes. Well, delele sampe impala.
Yeah. But
South yes, but
Jackals number 2 there. It's out there. But I never could, eat that. But so that's me and the diet.
Okay.
Cut on red meat. I struggle with that because I'm a farmer. I'm blind. Fortunately, I've never had gout, and I check myself every year of all of these things. Prostate, you name it, man. All these chemistries, and I do, and I'm all right. I'm doing good. Yeah,
doing good.
My prostate is great. Everything else that you should be worried about when you turn a certain age.
Yeah, no. Once over 50, you have to check it.
Yep.
Every 6 months at least.
Yeah. Red meat is people need to cut on red meat. But like I said, it's
a struggle for Africans.
That's a struggle. Yeah. Yep. But I try to.
But once you discipline yourself with a few things, like you cut the whites, you cut this, you find that the other ones that are tougher, it might take long, but it's easier to once you discipline yourself.
Absolutely, discipline is very, very important. Yeah. So I tricked myself into game meat now, but I've always liked game meat. I've always considered it a little healthier than your regular cow. Because we
they're very organic as well. I mean, the game
so, but it's still red meat, but it's that's why I say I trick myself into and I eat a lot of game.
Okay. No, that's great. So in general, as we come to an end, how would you summarize the products that Takua, and what would you say to the public out there in terms of trying them out?
Let's get back to our roots. I've started saying now, getting back to our roots. Our roots means so we're gonna eat off of the land, live off of the land. Yeah. So herbs, they work. Yeah. Diet, the strict diet works. And Takua told me this. He said, Repule, you know what? Half of our problems in this world, no matter what it is, it's us. And more than half of the things that we consume are very toxic to us as humans. Ingesting into our bodies. So how you will have a chance to live longer. And I tell people, younger people around me, I was like, I wish I had met this guy in my 20s. I would live to, I don't know, I would live to 200 years, man. Because in right?
Correct.
You know,
yes, yeah.
Yeah. You know, we know God has a plan for all of us. And even if I drop dead tomorrow, I'll die a very happy man that at least I tried some,
Wonderful.
that's working for me. And I don't work for Takua, and that's the thing. But I get inundated with personal messages from people out there. And you can imagine, calculate there, what's 1,025 times 25? I get we're on the 26 group now.
26 WhatsApp group, yes.
WhatsApp group, yeah. WhatsApp group gets filled by 1,025 people, yeah? So 1,025 times
26.
25. I got remember group
25,
26 not filled yet. So
it's 25.
25, yeah. 25,625 just on WhatsApp ahead. So you can imagine, and I'm not in all the groups. So there's some administrators of the groups. What I said in one group, but throw into other groups. But the ones that I'm in, the I think 10 or 12, I don't know. The many that I'm in, I've got a record of it. When I do something in this one group, I spread it across all the groups that I'm a member of. And then I get in there. People think I work for this guy. No, I don't. I'm just
It's supportive and it's made a difference to your life.
I'm supportive. He's made a difference in my life. And anybody who does
from those groups, it's made a difference to lots of other lives.
Oh, lots of other lives, yeah. So and I admit, I won't tell you anything. Hey, go and see Taku, But other things that I can, especially about high blood pressure. High blood pressure, I can answer almost any question now about high blood pressure. Because I also read up on it. And I read up on the side effects of all these medications that I'm taking.
Correct.
For the kids, I love knowing knowing about me, man.
Wow. 26. Yeah. No, thanks a lot. I think you have your book next to you. So I just like you to just raise it to say that you have putting everything on record, isn't it? In terms of that everything in there. Right from the beginning you said.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right from the beginning. So, I've got,
Where is the camera? The camera is here.
Yeah,
you can show,
that way, and this book is, it's all about high blood pressure, which is the only thing that I've ever suffered from, I must admit,
So that's the only chronic illness.
That's the only chronic illness. I keep all of these. I tell people, I say, I'm keeping this for my grandkids who I don't have yet, so they'll see how grandpa did in his life, And I'll preserve the book, I will, and I'll give it to we have a child of mine bears kids first, It's really, I've got a 23-year-old girl. So maybe she'll start bearing me some grandkids sometime soon. I don't know.
She will. And then the last reading, what was the last reading there? You want to share?
Well, 181 over 97 is one that there's a lot of such here, but I'll just cite one. 181 over 97. That was on the 7th of June 2024.
Okay.
So I'll cite another one here. Just pick anyone. 115 over 72. This was on Sunday, the 16th of March.
This year?
Yeah.
Recently, yeah. So it's really come down.
So 115 over 72. That's my target. My target to know that I'm doing well is anything under 130 over 80.
And this is
this is consistent, It's consistent. It's been consistently for the past, like I said, 6 months. Consistently 180 over 80 or less. 130 over 80 or less.
Excellent.
So my I call him my regular medicine doctor is very impressed with what I've done at my age, he says. And obviously he's seen a lot of patients.
What is he saying? There's a problem with men your age with this type of thing. Why are you such a role model?
I make a role model. I don't know that. I don't regard myself as that.
In terms of how you've managed your blood pressure. Why is he impressed?
Because, and this hurts me to say this, but it's a lifestyle. People don't struggle with changing
lifestyle.
Yeah, for the better. People struggle with food. People like to eat whatever they want to eat. So you need to turn that corner and say, but this is my health. You know, the lifespan, I normally say, lifespan I was on, the last I checked was about 65, man.
It is
you know,
65.
65, I'm 55 in June. That means I would have
10 years,
10
you
years
might
ago.
be gone, man.
That scares me. You know, it scares me. We need to raise that. Listen to your doctor. Yeah, eat right. Exercise regularly. You know, if you are not able because you have some sort of handicap or whatever, but you can move.
Walk. Yeah, just
walk.
even walking. Yeah,
even around the yard, around your house. That's exercise.
Even just cleaning your house. That's exercise.
Just cleaning your house. Move. Yeah?
Because we are meant to move.
Let's keep
naturally,
moving.
Yeah. No, excellent. No, thanks so much, 26. Is there anything else that you want to add in terms of the product and what's happened to you as we close? Anything that you...
I couldn't say any more than
that you
said. What Takua has probably said.
Okay.
Obviously, he is the man. You know, I call him the superstar PhD chemist. Monk.
No, thanks so much. And there we have it. I think it's important that sometimes we talk to people that have been impacted by others positively. And I think such a beautiful, positive story shared by Mothusi in terms of getting help. And we got to emphasize, as he calls it, the big pharma. He went to a doctor, prescription, adhered to it. But in parallel, as Takua said, he had access to the herbs, and he believes that combination has helped him to actually contain his blood pressure. But importantly, it's also the lifestyle. It is the hiking, it is the running, it's the exercising, and the food and the diet. So it's not just that for you to manage any chronic condition. So with that, I hope you enjoyed it. And and picked up some lessons there. So we'll see you next time. Bye.